We wanted to get your opinion if you had a most impressive performance from Season 6, the Season 6 tournament, be it a specific player, a guild you want to shout out that it might not be here today, or who is present with us today. We'll give you guys an opportunity to do that right now.
For me, it's just like Kurt for going on the top for leading our siege, man. Like, he stayed up the whole day.
Kurt, I would say B, Bizzle, all the leads, a lot of the not even new players, just what I said before, like everyone did a great job. Some people might have been doing so great, but that's the reason why they're benched. But they, like, honestly, like a lot of like the top 25 players that we brought to the tournament were like on top of their their game.
So Pat still benched, right?
Yes.
Shout out Pat, thank you. Thank you for not attacking.
As always, he was always talking about the chopping block. He's
definitely on the chopping block. Okay.
Oh, Pat.
I have 2 guilds that I have in mind, and one of them is SD, and they actually improved drastically from the start of the season to the end of the season. Their win rate got a lot better, and their coordination got a lot better too. And the same thing goes with Team America, and they weren't as powerful last season or two seasons ago, but they made a lot of improvements last season, just like SD, and they actually surprised me on how well they did during the tournament.
Yeah, that was the most surprising guild for me, actually. I was not expecting that at all.
I would like to give a shout out to Halloween. He's his other dear friend.
So I have 2 guild members that I'd love to shout out. One of them is Tim. He was fully on part with the Cult of Chammy. He made a PDF guide on how to build the defenses. He made a song based on Chammy. He made a 3...
Wait, stop.
Can you sing it?
Wait, stop. Exactly. If I can't sing it, send it to us and we'll put it on the video.
Chammy, it is what we live for. Destroy, sets in every time she moves. And every tower's going down, but there's one that lives through. Chammy. Chammy, it is what we live for. Destroy, sets in every time she moves. And every tower's going down, but there's one that lives through.
He made a 3-hour YouTube video critiquing each person's Chammy defense and ranking them in order, because apparently ranking is what motivates people to improve them.
Which rank was your Chammy defense?
My Chammy defense was not good enough to beat that. I'm only here because I can mark towers, so
Love it.
I rely on my guild members. I also have another guild member, Big Back. He summoned 2 Molongs before tournament, so he ended up fusing 33 pandas on the day of our siege against SWC, and he was just fusing pandas and pandas all throughout the whole day, just to get us 4 different Mo, Beta, Savannah defenses, just for a little depth.
Wow.
That's a
That's
lot.
awful. That is like an awful day.
One of the people I have in mind to shout out from my guild is Kaito. Kaito was with us last season, and he spent a lot of time trying to help everyone in the guild. We had a lot of players who were sort of questionable in offense win rates, but Kaito had a spreadsheet with all sorts of counters for every defense. And what he would do is we would open up the siege. We'd see all the towers, we'd like work through them, and we had a channel on our Discord where he'd post like counters to every defense he saw, and he'd list off every defense, including every LD. So we all had time to prepare him by the time the second wave came around. It helped a lot during tournament, and it helped a lot during regular season when we had hard matchups. So I definitely got to give him the shout out for that. And as for guilds, I definitely think to include guilds that weren't mentioned, the Anastasis SWC matchup, I think both guilds were actually pretty strong. It's just they kind of weren't mentioned because they were on our side, and we kind of rolled SWC2. But I think as a whole they were pretty strong, and they came out a lot stronger than we expected them to.
Dude, I was gonna say SWC though by far was my favorite match. Not because like we won, but like it was truly I think like a 2.5 minute window where we happened to take a tower 2.5 minutes quick enough to secure the victory. It ended up being like exact same win rate down to the attack, same losses. And definitely the closest matchup. We're going to shout out like an individual guild, definitely SWC. As far as individual member, probably either Simba or Boston Cream Pie. They just, if I say make 12 of these things, they just do it. I stare at the map all day and I just tell them what to make.
That's wonderful.
Wow, those are good soldiers.
Jump, how high? Yes, sir.
So for me, I guess if I'd shout out a guild that I just felt like didn't feel as relevant last season, felt really relevant this season, probably SWC too. I think that SWC has done a very good job of cultivating and building up that guild from where I perceived it before to where I see it now, and that has been very fun to watch. And then I guess for individual members, in Cloud Tiers is amazing at giving me things to map out, organize, and share with people.
Pray on it.
Love that. All right. Well, so now I think we'll go to what is going to be the final question for today, guys. So 2 weeks until the start of the new season, and we just had a balance patch, so we wanted to get everybody's opinions on the new and developing Siege meta.
Orion, hate the ball of hate. There was a season 2 or 3 seasons ago where SD's response to pairing with us was every tower had Orion. I hate his RNG. I think he's the devil, and I think there's no reason he can win if he wants to. So, yeah, Orion is my least favorite unit, and I hate that he's buffed.
Question, is Orion the Siege's Antares?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
It's a great
Yeah,
Maybe Diana, but like, it's in the same idea where as soon as you see the additional turn and it rolls at you, you know it's going to come again.
I really like this balance patch. I felt like you all created things that were harder to use on offense, but more interesting for defense. And as someone who felt that the patch before was actually very well thought out, but I feel like it hit defenses really hard and didn't give them other options, I really liked seeing how this patch looked to kind of correct that and give options to defenses that are very difficult for offense to abuse in a reliable way. Orion is a great example because you can get a good enough chance of screwing someone over that it's an interesting defensive unit, but you can't get consistent draws for offense, which I like to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with Zan. I like this balance patch a lot. This was the first balance patch in a while where we had a lot of ideas for defense. Rather than just trying to find something that might work, there's multiple options of things that I think will do well. I'm not really looking forward to Orion. We're trying to theorycraft a lot. We haven't fought like an Orion map yet, so we're not like so sure on how great it is. But we're testing and practicing, and we're not having too much success yet in finding like near 100% counters like all the Lulu Windy we were talking about earlier. So not super looking forward to it, but it'll definitely be interesting.
I have to agree there. Orion's going to be a public menace. For everyone who was like, I had 95% win rates last season, things are about to change. But I think another unit that wasn't necessarily as brought up, but will pair probably pretty well with Orion. Both Perna and Rakan look like they're going to be pretty interesting. Rakan in particular, I have a keen interest for it because I own one, for one, so I can actually build it. And two, I feel like there's going to be moments where you're going to get provoked, and you're going to get provoked again, and again, and you're just going to like, it's going to be an adventure dealing with that unit.
I mean, personally for me, and I think I can speak for quite a few members in Apocalypse, like we are exhausted right after tourney. We're exhausted after the tournament, and we haven't really been tinkering with new defenses yet. I mean, we a bunch of us have tried like Orions and Rakan and Perna on defenses, but like we haven't really done like theorycraft that are as extensive as we usually do. I mean, this tournament has been an adventure, a journey, right? It's a long tournament for sure.
My take on the balance patch, I am really pleased that the developers are targeting older monsters and actually giving it a little more aggressive balance patches compared to previous balance patches. And I'm really pleased about that, and I hope they continue to do that for the upcoming balance patches.
Yeah, for the balance patch, it's really nice to, get those balance patches out every other month. It helps the game stay alive.
The other thing about the patches, like no one talks about Water Chimera. I think his buff is actually pretty amazing. The fact that anything that ignores resistance just in general is just an amazing tool. Like, because you just completely cut out like the entire RNG factor out of the equation. Yeah, haven't really done much change, but I think like Water Chimera is actually going to be like a really strong offense like coming into the season, especially with like Perna. I think Perna's going to be like it's going to be all over the place this season. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, Perna's back and it procs so much.
I know.
That's the thing. You were talking about Orion, Perna. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, with Perna and like Windy, you can get rid of the shield with Windy pretty easily, and also anything with immunity like Lulu, that 2-turn, just get rid of it, like because you always crits anyway.
Before a sign off, we like to do something kind of fun. Tell me a person from an opponent, another guild, any other guild,
you would
that
like.
if you could totally snatch. The LeBron James or the Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of
your
any
eyes
other
on
guild, you're
somebody.
like, if I could get this person to my guild, because we know everyone moves around, like Ryujin was in Apocalypse, now you're a trader, stuff like that. So let's tell me who you wanted to.
I've been like every guild.
I'm just kidding. You've been everywhere, dude. Starting off with SSA this time, anyone from another guild, each one of you guys, say the name and short reason, like the guy's amazing, whatever.
Let's bring Charles back. Come on, Charles, just come right back, just snatching you right there.
There it is.
Either JX or Lucky Madman.
One thing Apocalypse lack is also like an experienced like siege map leader. So I think having one of those two would help us.
I would like to take any Narsha owners out there. I think a lot of Narsha owners in top guilds are very lonely. We're lucky enough to have 5 right now. I would love to have a couple more towers of them. It's a totally balanced unit. There's nothing wrong with Narsha. We would just like to collect as many as we can. Just for no other reason than to get them more company.
Accepting applications, Narsha owners.
If possible, you would even like to change the name of the guild, to
Narsha Incorporated.
Why Narsha
Why Narsha?
Jesus, or something like that.
I need a picture of Chammy riding Narsha into battle.
That's it.
And change the song a little bit, just to get
Just to fit that.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I know personally for me, there's one person in mind who I'd really like. Not only because he's like really good and like really strong, also because he got me into Siege at a high level at the beginning. And it's Itchy, now known as Lucky from Malicious. He taught me a fair bit and was there for my first adventure into G3. And I think of the original 4 people, it was me, Itchy, Angel Slayer, and Bear from Malicious. We used to call ourselves the Party Bus. But if I got to reunite with my friends again, and Itchy's objectively the strongest one of the 4, so I definitely want him.
I'm definitely going back to old Mithril members. We have a lot of them in Mithril, or from Mithril to Mali, etc. Bloody Claw, by far my favorite. Even though he's betrayed me time and time again, I still pick him up.
Oh my god, I remember that message. I was just like, I don't know what to say.
Dude, we'll throw this out here. I literally took my first Siege after like 2 years of watching every Siege map Monday, Thursday. Took one Siege off, went camping, came back, BK was gone.
Wow.
Tragic.
And the real question is, how many of the guys that everyone suggested have a Narsha?
0. No Narshas.
0.
Savannahs, though, everyone has a Savannah. Everyone has a Savannah, right?
Has
Everyone except me.
Yeah.
Where's my Savannah?
Wait, you don't have a Savannah?
No.
She's dope. I don't know.
I have your Savannah.
Extras.
Your Savannah and my Savannah.
Nice, guys. Just overall, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate not only everything you do for your sieges, for your guilds, and for the game, because we know how hard it is. And especially before this, like you said, the introduction of the Siege tournament really changed and brought something to look forward to guilds, and really brought a spotlight, which is something that we want to do with this video as well, just to show how much we appreciate all the work that you guys put in, all the organization, the community, the love that you guys share together, even though some of you like betray each other and like switch guilds.
Happens.
But that happens, you know, it's like life, and you still bring new people, you know, help them. So we really, really appreciate that, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and for joining us here today, and you know, interacting with each other and being so respectful, and always so there's so much sportsmanship in these conversations, which is really cool. Love seeing you guys interact. And we look forward to seeing you guys in future seasons of Siege, which might be the hardest sentence I've ever had to say.